Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report one more time. It's Thursday morning. Not a lot going on that is new in the news. Israel is still moving forward with their jaunt into getting rid of what's left of the tunnels there off of the northern side of Israel.
Overnight, Israel launched a series of attacks in parts of Gaza and Lebanon following Iran's missile attack in Israel. The Associated Press,
which is a good thing, and it has to happen, and it cannot be hampered by a dementia-rattled president that's sitting on a beach on a daily basis while all of this goes on, along with the conflict in the Ukraine and now our disaster that has taken place here in the south and up through the corridor that has been devastated by this Hurricane Helene. That said, we'll take a look. We did some snooping around yesterday and drove up through Roan Mountain up toward where the devastation was taking place just north of there. What we saw was unbelievable. We don't take a camera into these places because these people are trying to dig out. There are power lines down all over the place. There are people searching for other people that are missing, and in some cases finding them not alive any longer. So the last thing we want to do at the Kaiser Report is film any of this or film any of the people that are going to the centers that have been set up to where they can get water and necessary items to carry on life as they knew it at one time. FEMA is on the job somewhat around here. They have found people that have lost or saved their own lives in a trailer or however they got away with it, but they're getting hotel rooms, and FEMA is taking care of some of that. But please be cognizant when you're out, and if you're a creator here on YouTube or Instagram or any of these, people have seen and re-seen through mainstream media so often of the devastation. We don't need our cameras bringing it into this platform any more than it already has. Please be cognizant of the dire needs of these people, and the last thing they want to be is on your camera receiving goods or searching for a loved one. So remember that. This is why we're not bringing you footage of this. There are several centers set up, excuse me, in Hampton, Tennessee, where you can drop off items that are in need, such as water, first aid supplies, alcohol, diapers, and things of necessities that people need to get their life back on track. So that said, Bristol Motor Speedway, the big NASCAR coliseum of a half a mile race, has been dedicated now as a disaster relief center. That is not a place for you to go pick up things, but if you need relief from the disaster, you can go to Bristol Motor Speedway, located in Bristol, Tennessee. And there are a lot of other drop-off areas where you can pick up the necessities that you need as they're needed. So look into your community churches, fire departments, and things that have signs up that you can get these necessary items. Water is very, very important. So keep abreast of that. Not one more penny should be shoveled into another country until every state in this country looks like the hurricane never happened.
Not one bit, sir.
It's ridiculous to have our government has printed and shoveled out money for everybody, including the Ukraine, and they just approved, excuse me, on his visit here, another $80 billion to go to Zelensky.
I'm confused.
For the Ukraine. And then we take a drive yesterday and see the devastation here, and people are wondering, how in the world will I survive this? But yet we can print money for all the despots all over the world, but we can't take care of people in Hawaii that have been, their entire town has been burned away, or these people that were hit with this hurricane, this horrendous hurricane. It doesn't make any sense, folks. Why are we sending money and printing money to send overseas to people that we don't know or we should not even be involved with? And this is what I want to point out to you more than anything else today, is we need to vote these idiots that are running this country and printing the money and getting rich out of office. And let's start with Alejandro Mayorkas, who announces to the world today, well, we don't have any more money. Why? Because we're housing 20 plus million illegal immigrants in this country that you let through? He should have been impeached. He should be paying for his crimes. And yet he's still in charge of Homeland Security, the Secret Service, and don't even get me started on his involvement with these Trump assassination attempts. He shouldn't be in charge of an ice cream stand. This guy has no clue of what he's doing, and that smirk should be wiped off his face for good. He needs to be pushed out of his position in that organization. He's not qualified. It's obvious. We have all of the illegal entries into this country, murderers, rapists, thieves, all on his watch, all on Joe Biden's watch, all on the border czar, Kamala Harris's watch. How much longer can we sustain as a sovereign country with wide open borders, the only place in the world? It's been done intentionally, folks. I don't know what the reasoning is any more than you do, but we need to figure it out and put a stop to it as soon as possible. And if you're going to vote on somebody's personality, it's a mistake. Yes, he's a bloviator. Yes, he says things that are unchecked. I'm not sure about the other side, but it appears to me that everything that comes out of the Democratic side's mouth anymore is an untruth or a bending of the truth, and it's not going to get any better. you have a Marxist running for the position of president of this country, and how long do you think it will be before this country is totally turned upside down? Look at your Congress. Look at the squad. Look at the past 3.5 years to 3.75 years, and use that as a track record against the 4 years that the bloviator was in charge. The record is there, it's set, and it's in stone. So why would you give somebody who has failed for 4 years another 4 years to fail further, or accomplish a nefarious agenda that may be plotted and planned by the Democratic Party? You don't buy off the entire legacy media without intent to do something that you need their help for. And it's as plain as the nose on your face that legend media is on one side and one side only. Just look at these last 2 debates, where a candidate has to debate 3 people instead of 1, because the media is involved in trickery. You have to go on to different platforms. You have to listen to Tucker Carlson. You have to listen to Rand Paul. And you need to listen to Elon Musk and other people that are coming to you on these platforms with the truth and what can happen if it is let happen. Which brings us to the longshoremen strike. Is this part of a political manipulation? Probably not, because it really doesn't serve the Democrats right now. But what I want to know is, in light of the disaster that we have and the cleanup efforts that they're telling us they don't have enough money for, and with the advent of future hurricanes coming, because we're in hurricane season, why would not he push forth Taft-Hartley and get a cooling off period of 60 days so these people can work out their differences?
This is insane.
The fight against automation, which has been implemented in Singapore, Hong Kong, all of the major shipping ports in the Pacific Rim, as well as European ports, have been automated, and it has cut down the time to turn ships around significantly. But I understand the union feels that they'll lose their jobs if they implement this, and I don't believe that that's true, because anytime you put a machine to work for you, somebody has to maintain that machine. Somebody has to be the second overlook on that machine. And it's like saying you can't automate building buildings because you need a crane operator. You're still going to need the crane operator, but it'll be a different mechanism that you're working with. So what you're telling me is you want a 77% pay raise and a guarantee that they'll never automate the receiving and shipping ports of the United States? You may stave it off for a while, but it's coming. There's a big push right now by everyone on AI and robotics to take the place of a person who can make a mistake. Not that the machines won't make a mistake, but that's why we need the personnel to run the machines. That's just my opinion. But Taft-Hartley would have given this country the break it needs. Number one, because we're going into a major election. And number two is we have a disaster relief program that has to be put in place to bring these towns back to a functioning city that they once were before the devastation of this hurricane hit. I met with a bunch of pilots last night that are all willing to give, but they want to do it anonymously. They don't want credit for it. They don't want names mentioned, and nor do I. And I will give what I can and help in any way I can, and they're of like mind as well. So, if you're in need of something and you're a victim of what's going on, you have our email address here at the Kaiser Report. You have a phone number here, or maybe you don't, but you can contact me through YouTube. Let me know how you're doing. And if you have any ideas, use the comment section below and tell us exactly what you're thinking about any of this. And if you have an idea of how to help people, let me know that too. We'll put it on the Kaiser Report. There is a problem with children being out of school, without a home, and things that they can't control any longer. So keep that in mind and keep your cameras home. We've all seen the devastation. I've posted some here early on to let you know what was going on, but I will not be posting pictures of the surrounding area any longer. There are crews out everywhere working. The linemen with the power trucks were evident yesterday when we took a ride up to Roan Mountain. The debris cleanup, there is truck after truck after truck with large equipment that is they're loading up these trucks with the mud and debris and down trees and getting the highways back open. Give these people a break. They don't need you sightseeing up through there. So if you don't have to drive into these areas in western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and up in Damascus, Virginia, don't go there. Let these people, these first responders, and these cleanup efforts that are being brought in by both the National Guard and in some cases FEMA has to work. The birthplace of country music in Bristol, Virginia, the museum, is raising awareness and some help for Damascus, Virginia, which was hit very hard. You don't hear about that in the news for some reason, but the birthplace of country music, as you may or may not know, is affiliated with the Smithsonian, and they have talent there that can raise what they need, either in money or goods, to help these people in Damascus, Virginia. So don't forget that. And if you're in that area or you just want to call them up and say, what can I do to help, that would be appreciated. Let's move on to the presidential election and the debates that were unbelievably one-sided from the moderators in the vice presidential debate, and we all saw the 3-against-1 on Donald Trump in that debate. Fact checks, there were not supposed to be any, but of course they wanted to fact check one side and let the other side run rampant with out-and-out lies. The answers to questions that were asked of substance got word salad answers. And finally, he just admitted, well, I'm a knucklehead, which makes me worry. Why would you want a knucklehead in the second position of the government of this country? If something happens to the president, that's the new president. If you're such a knucklehead that you can't function, well, we have a non-functioning president right now. And if you want to see him, you can go to the beach and see where he is in his chair. It's a disgrace, and everyone around this world is looking at it, seeing it, and laughing at us. And we need to put a stop to that as well. Let's not give the world the thought that we're no longer a viable nation, or a strong nation, or a nation under God, as the Constitution was written to be. We've been infiltrated by some not-so-nice characters. And I'm not going to sit here and name names. You all know who it is. But we have to do something in the voting booths as soon as you can. And with the disasters that are going on, I urge you one more time to please vote early so they can't shut down voting places. And if you know people that have been displaced due to these storm situations, help them get to a vote center somehow, somewhere, and let them vote. These are the people that see that Zelensky and illegal entries into this country are treated better than our own citizens. So we want them to vote. And if you can help a displaced person to vote, please do. If you need to find out where they can cast a ballot on early voting, get them there. Drive them there. I would. These are manipulations that are going to take place that are not going to be good. And it won't be good for anyone but whoever is running the rig show like they did in 2020. It's Thursday. If you haven't ordered your meats and everything from Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, please do today. You'll have it for the weekend. You saw their commercial, full commercial here yesterday. Call Butch, have him cut you a steak the way you want it. And don't forget to tell him Kaiser sent you. That's Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, and you can find them on Facebook, in the phone book, and online. So with that, we're going to wrap Thursday up and wish you all a happy rest of Thursday. And again, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell, because that's important to keep us viable to bring you the news that we do. So with that, I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at the Kaiser Report.